welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the GSL qualifiers, the GSL 2024 Season 2 qualifiers, part number 2. Oh my god, welcome everyone, welcome back. The GSL qualifiers, of course, they were held last week. And we have actually gone over half of those replays already, over half of those qualifying matches, and now we have the other half. Now we have 6 qualifying matches left, and we're here to find out the hell happened during those qualifiers and how good those games were. We are here to find out. I'm of course just Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by the amazing people in the chat and by these amazing players as well. Again, to be transparent here, the qualifiers were held last week, as I mentioned, but the GSL qualifiers are not broadcasted. They're not broadcasted live. They never really have been. There's been exceptions. There have been exceptions to the rule where, you know, maybe back in 2015, 2014, there was like a season or two where they did actually cast the qualifiers. But outside of that, they were never really publicized. They were never really monetized or anything like that. They just held them. And I remember back in the day. In Heart of the Storm, I'd be one of those guys. I'd be one of the contributors on Wikipedia where every GSL season I'd be spam refreshing. I'd open up a bunch of tabs. I'd open up like 5, 6, 7 tabs with all the different brackets. Before they used challenge, they used like a Korean site with all the brackets. I would like spam refresh, and whenever there was an update, I'd update on Wikipedia. That was me back in the day. I'd be updating the matches live on Wikipedia as quickly as possible. I remember I'd do that, and then then when it was all done, I'd screenshot it and then I'd post it to Reddit. I'd post the qualified players to Reddit as well. That was the good old days. So yeah, that's how you would experience the GSL qualifiers. Nowadays, as of the past year or so, we have replays. GSL has been kind enough, we've been fortunate enough to receive replays from GSL. I say we, all the patrons. !GSL in the chat, and you will get a link to the Patreon of GSL, so you can help support the Global StarCraft League, you can help support the Korean scene, and if you do so, you can gain access to their replays. You can also gain access to behind the scene photos and photo shoots and some content that they've been making as well, some player content. And yeah, it's, you know, just a nice way to support GSL. You can do so via Patreon. You can gain access to the replays yourselves as well. There you go. Meanwhile, for us, we're going over all the qualifying matches. And again, as I mentioned, we've already gone through 6 qualifying matches. We have 6 matches left. Up first here in Group D, it's a TvT between ByuN and GuMiho. Again, we've already casted Group A, Group B, and Group C already. The majority of Round 1. We have one group left. That is Group D. After Group D, we're going to be getting into Round 2, which takes all the players that failed to qualify for GSL. They've all been invited and seeded into a final round, into like a last chance qualifier, and they're going to be fighting for 4 more qualifying spots. So we'll get there soon. We'll get there, Bobby. We'll get there. For now, we have our TvT. We have ByuN versus GuMiho. Clearly Paytover, the mad scientist and a master composer. We need to hit him up for the secret immortality when we hire him for StarCraft 3. True. It is known. He did not just compose StarCraft, he actually played Brood War as well. That is true. Did play it. He played a bit of StarCraft 2 as well, as did everyone. Can confirm. The passion, Bobby, the passion. Those are the good old days. The good old days, Bobby. But now we're back, and we're diving into our first TvT, into our first series of the night. Let's go. Now, GuMiho versus ByuN is going to be an interesting... Oh, right. There was an update. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I forgot there was an update was it yesterday? I remember there was an update yesterday, and that may have broken replays. No shot. So it looks like I'm gonna have to download the previous version of the game. Let's go. So this is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be a great experience here, covering these older replays. I might have to patch the game every time I load an old replay. That would be less than ideal. That would be God damn it. For those that are curious, we casted our first day of the GSL qualifiers 2 days ago, and yesterday before Kung Fu Cup there was a patch to the game. It wasn't like a game update, or there was no like balance patch or anything, but the game itself was updated. There was a patch that was held. I don't know what it did. I'll be honest. I think there were some bugs, and I think it was like a bug fixing patch. But that does technically mean that these replays are from an older version of the game, even though they were from like a week ago. So yeah, we got we have to repatch the game whenever we load in a replay. Yeah, it's gonna be an experience, and hopefully the replays work. Oh, don't tell me they're broken. Okay, we're good. Fingers crossed. I think we're okay. We're getting ready for game one. It's gonna be on Alkione. Fiction Beethoven picture game. True. Este Beethoven, papi. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione. We have our blue Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. We go. And this is going to be an interesting one. I know that ByuN has a lot of hype around him. I mean, deservedly so. He's an amazing player. But when it comes to the TvT matchup, there are certain TvT specialists out there that can really pop off and bounce back. And GuMiho is one of them. Kyor is another. Ryung, of course, is a TvT master. Can take down even the best of them out there in specifically the TvT matchup. And GuMiho is starting things off with a proxy 2 racks. Oh boy. Let's go. The first Rax is on the way. Second Rax has been thrown down here on the high ground as well. So it's going to be 2 Rax Reaper, I imagine, out of GuMiho. And ByuN back at home. What opener do we go for? We're on Alkione. Rax expands are not unheard of in this matchup on this map, just because of how greedy you can be, just because of how macro oriented this map can be as well. If we go for an economic opener, then ByuN is going to be in some trouble. Oh boy. And it looks like it is, in fact, going to be a Rax expand. We're going for a delayed second gas, which means we're going for a delayed factory as well. ByuN is going to be in a bit of trouble here. Now, it's not an auto loss. This is just ideal for GuMiho. ByuN can still react well enough. He can pull the boys. He can minimize losses, micro his hard out, and defend against the first wave of Reapers. ByuN can pull it off, but it's not going to be easy, as there's that CC on the low ground again. An economic opener here out of ByuN. And GuMiho, he gambles and he's here to punish. Oh boy. We have the SCV as well to help out. Factory now on the way, but the factory was delayed because of the opener, because of the initial CC. And here come the Reapers. Here come the Reapers here from GuMiho. How fast can ByuN react? Does move out with this first Reaper. Ooh, a bit out of position. And we do dive in. We're going to be disrupting and delaying that factory. The factory, oh, is going to be saved. Barely do hold on. Boys are being pulled. That first Reaper taking a lot of hits. Oh, does escape. Does manage to escape. We do take down one of those SCVs, but the factory will continue. GuMiho is forced out. He gets another SCV on the low ground. 2 SCVs go down. Oh, we delay the CC. Oh, we force a cancel as well. Massive pickups here from GuMiho. Does force a cancel, forcing it to be rebuilt here in the main base. We're up to 3 Reapers. We're back up to 3. So far, ByuN hasn't lost any of his fighting units, but again, he's only got 1 Reaper, and he will lose it. Up, or will he? Up, it's so close. The Reaper barely does survive, neither player losing any yet. And the Hellion has arrived just in time. We can shut this army down. GuMiho is going to be cleaned up. Whew. That's 4 Reapers for 1 Hellion. Very nice kiting, very nice control out of ByuN, and making the best out of a bad situation. As he moves out, Reaper once again moves in. Bearing in mind, GuMiho has nothing. GuMiho has nothing back at home. He can throwing down a CC on the low ground. ByuN, he can counterattack. He can push here and now. If ByuN had his Hellion, then he could do so much across the map. GuMiho bleeding out another Reaper. ByuN is pushing. Meanwhile, GuMiho working on his Cyclone. As the dust does settle, as long as GuMiho doesn't lose too many SCVs, he does have an economic lead. 1 SCV goes down. ByuN, he does pivot away. Being dragged further into the natural by the SCV. We'll delay the command center. We'll get a kill. The Cyclone has arrived. And GuMiho is still up 5 workers. He's up 5 SCVs, and he's going to get his natural up a lot faster as well. At least on location. Cyclone shuts down the Reaper. GuMiho has control of his side of the map. ByuN on the other side getting into his own drop play. Medevac is on the way. Let's go. Medevac and 2 more Cyclones. Now the pressure is on ByuN to get damage done, and he can. He has the potential. Has the tools. Makes the magic happen here. You have the racks. Going to be scouting, confirming the Cyclones. Confirming the army. Medevac is on the way. And we can see GuMiho going into a 3rd CC. Oh my god. Quite greedy here. 3rd CC before a 2nd factory, before a 2nd racks, before anything else. At the same time, GuMiho dives into that natural base. Helping up there by ByuN. Saves both Cyclones. Oh, I spoke too soon. Trades 1 for 1. 1 for 2. Oh, what a mess. He's so close. Cyclones are barely going to be saved. A 1-to-1 trade there between the Cyclones. ByuN rotating around, pushing in. GuMiho is getting his 3rd base up and running. ByuN, no 3rd in sight, not yet. So GuMiho being quite greedy. Can ByuN punish him? Can he punish? As the game is going to be settling a bit from here, and GuMiho, he's had a pretty strong start so far. Now we're settling into our 1-on-1 openers, settling into our 3rd base. ByuN still has yet to confirm the timing of the 3rd, as he does manage to outposition GuMiho. 1 SCV goes down, but the tank is in position. Yeah, tank does shell away at those Cyclones. GuMiho getting across the map. We do not have a tank to defend, by the way. It's in the main, not in the natural. Can we get some SCVs? We get 1. Oh, only 1. Barely only 1 worker goes down. Marines are in position in the main. Good defense here by ByuN. Does hold on, and from here we can take stock. We have ByuN now getting to his 3rd CC, working towards a Raven follow-up. He has a lot of potential with this Raven, even though GuMiho is going to have the economic lead, even though he's going to have more workers and mules available. The Liberator will confirm this. Big scout. Liberator does confirm, and ByuN does have the Raven advantage. With this, we can actually break a defending player. We can break GuMiho with our first push. ByuN has so much more utility available with his army. And the Raven is going to be massive. Behind this, Liberator is going to be chased down by the Cyclones. Oh my god, I spoke too soon. The Liberator barely escapes. Barely does get away. GuMiho behind this, going to be pulling back. Does end up pulling back. Now getting to the rest of his reactions. Has yet to expand, yet to take his 3rd base, but should be on the horizon. Should be on the way. And the scan does confirm the timing of the 3rd. And ByuN, he knows he has to push out. Like, he saw the timing of the 3rd base of GuMiho. He knows how far behind he is with that 3rd base. So the pressure is on. He is moving out. Now, looking at the units tab, we have 3 tanks for ByuN. We have 4 for GuMiho. But GuMiho doesn't have any Ravens. ByuN has 2. He has Interference Matrix research as well. So we can disable tanks. We can break a defensive line. It's going to be on GuMiho to outposition and to zone away ByuN. Specifically with his Vikings. Checking the Viking count. Ooh, only 1 Viking for GuMiho. Reactors just now on the way. We don't have any more anti-air. We have Marines, sure, but the Vikings zone him back. ByuN does take a tank shot to the face. Doesn't commit. Doesn't quite commit here. GuMiho dancing with the army. Playing with fire. Behind this, oh, Liberator does go down. We got a decent amount of SCV kills. Oh my god. My apologies, there's no W's escape hard. The armies are going to be clashing. ByuN bleeding out 10 SCVs. Gets the disable, but a quick unsiege out of GuMiho. Very nicely done. Does unsiege in time. For those that are curious, if you unsiege before the interference matrix connects, then you can get away. So quick moves out of GuMiho. Does threaten a push. GuMiho going for, once again, a cyclone jump towards the main. Going for that cyclone jump, and ByuN, he was just unable to find a way in. Didn't kill any tanks, didn't find any, didn't gain any ground here, and GuMiho, he's just ahead economically. Is ahead. Soon to be taking his 4th base. I like this from ByuN though, taking the gold. It is a good way to bounce back here. A good way to recover. There it is, gold base on location for ByuN. Same time, cyclone jump gets 1, gets 2 SCVs. Jumping into the main. Getting potentially 1, 2 more SCVs, 4 in total. Four SCV cyclones get cleaned up, but they get outscaled here as the game progresses. Good trade for GuMiho. Good trades overall. ByuN still trying to be as active as possible, and at least he still has retained these 2 Ravens. They're both still alive. One of them's down to half HP, but they still have a lot of potential. As ByuN is moving out, we just see GuMiho going for a counterattack. ByuN, believing he has map control, feels like he's safe, doesn't have any sensor towers. Reinforcements are called out. GuMiho diving into the natural. Going for the mineral line. There is a tank on the high ground. Big tank volleys going off. And ByuN races back home. Oh no! God. I need to stop doing that. So I keep pressing Shift B, and Shift B is the battle reports, but Shift B I believe is something else when you're going over replays. So we dive into the natural base. We saw this tank does siege up, getting a volley off. I need to refrain myself from pressing B. Aye. So here I should just unbind that actually, 100%. I'll unbind it. As we do see ByuN moving out with the rest of his army. Was forced back, but he doesn't get his gold base. His gold is up and running. Let's go. So even though he's down in workers, he can make up for it here with his gold. GuMiho going for a more standard linear 4th base instead. And GuMiho's not even pushing. He's been harassing with this drop, sure, like he was getting damage done, but he's keeping all of his tanks back at home, playing a much more defensive style. Not quite playing mech, of course, but defensive nonetheless. Here we go. Now we're pushing with 1 tank and ByuN towards the left. Double drop on the right. We're moving out with 1 more tank as well. And ByuN, can we keep up? Does have the Zelnaga at least. Does have a spotter depot on the right-hand side. The sensor tower is going to be covering the left-hand side this time. So ByuN, he has more vision. Is more aware. Rotates around. Going to be distracted by that depot. That does create an opening here for GuMiho. He does scan ahead of time. There is 1 tank, sorry, 2 tanks in position. And GuMiho, he can't find a way in. Ooh, gets a Raven. Does manage to get 1. Gets a 2nd Raven as well. Big pickoffs. May lose a tank, but that was well worth it for GuMiho. Sniping both Ravens. Aye. Oh, not like this. ByuN triple expanding. Getting his 5th, 6th, and 7th CC. GuMiho is not quite done. Going for another double drop towards the south. Double drop towards the south, headed for the main base. No ring of turrets, by the way, no defense. GuMiho, he gets into the main base at the same time. ByuN, he's going all in. We're going for a base trade. GuMiho pushing in towards that natural, but he has such an insane army already. ByuN hits the natural, hits the 3rd base of his opponents. But GuMiho, he shuts down the tanks. Boys have been pulled. We have 1 tank here in the main. One tank for ByuN, but I spoke too soon because GuMiho, he gets on top of it. And he's going to camp the production. At the same time, ByuN not quite making this to the main base of GuMiho. GuMiho evacuating his natural, getting ready in the main. Meanwhile, every base is under fire here. ByuN does have the gold. He does have 2 tanks at the gold base as well. That is a saving grace. ByuN has a chance. Does have a chance. He's trying to force his way up into the main. GuMiho, 1 tank is siege, not the other. And ByuN is breaking in. He's breaking through into the main, takes down a tank. Again, GuMiho late to siege. He does siege. Meanwhile, across the map, the main base has been killed. We kill the natural, we kill the third. The great migration here, Raxus is trying to get the hell out of there. And we're going for the tanks. No planetary. Ooh, no planetary, by the way. The turrets do take down the medevac. Oh, the boys are being pulled. Ooh, but it's not good enough. Tank goes down. That is the army of ByuN, at least the defensive army. Across the map, he's not gaining ground. GuMiho, he holds. He holds onto the main base, and I can't say the same for ByuN, as ByuN has no army left back at home. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, GuMiho did feel like from the beginning he just had quite an advantage because of the opener. Like, the opener was a little bit rough for ByuN, to lose his SCVs, to have his his factory, his CC delayed. Just a really rough start against the 2-Rax Reaper of GuMiho. GuMiho was able to get a lead and maintain that lead throughout the game. There were also some key moments when GuMiho was going for his drop play, for example, his double drop across the map. With GuMiho, of course, rushing into the 3rd CC. That was another big moment. Getting a 3rd CC up and running so quickly, and ByuN had no idea. And ByuN attempted to, but could not punish that 3rd base either. GG. And with that, GuMiho does take a lead in this series, and now we're diving into and getting ready for game number 2. Now, I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to have to download a patch every time I cast the game. I hope that isn't the case, but we'll see. That is the case. God damn it. Smoge, Pappy Smoge. Catching up in the chat. I missed the Beethoven discussion. It'll be back another time. It's Rossini, Janacek, and Brahms. You're going over my head, Pappy. I don't know the lingo, Pappy. I don't know the lingo. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta. You're too high society for me. In the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Down in this series, he needs to fight back here and now to force that ace match. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran, leading the series 1-0, representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. A solid game 1 there out of GuMiho. Never at all really too pressured or too worrisome for him. He was in control almost that entire game, but a lot of that was off of the proxy 2-Rax Reaper. Behind this, here in game number 2, we have a double gas opener. GuMiho going for a faster factory here, bit of a more aggressive build and safer build as well out of GuMiho. ByuN once again 2 games in a row. Rax expand. No second gas. No second gas guys are here for ByuN. So once again, he's going for an economic opener. If GuMiho had gone for 2-Rax Reaper 2 games in a row, then he could find some damage here, could find some success. But GuMiho is playing it safe. Maybe he's a little bit concerned that he was going to get proxied after GuMiho proxied ByuN. It would make sense to fear ByuN of proxying him. So that could be a reason as to why we would open up double gas here. As is that factory on the way. Meanwhile, ByuN getting into his natural base. So the trends have tabled, and this time ByuN is going to have the better economy coming into game number 2. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he's going to have, I guess, a slightly stronger army here coming into game number 2 instead. He can also tech up a little bit faster as well, into a faster starport, into some faster form of tech. See how GuMiho makes use of this. So you can see here just checking, looking for a proxy. GuMiho did not SCV scout across the map, so he's just checking his natural, his triangular third, his linear third base. GuMiho making sure he's safe and sound. Meanwhile, likewise, ByuN also did not SCV scout. He checks his triangular third, checking his fringe bases, or his, sorry, close by bases. And we're getting into our game. Go discussions never been more fiery than between Beethoven and Mozart. True, true. Who's Maru? And who's Cyril? Who's who's Meisenhower in this discussion? No, no. Not like this. As we are getting into our 1-1-1. From ByuN at least. Likewise, the same can be said for GuMiho. Again, GuMiho has slightly faster tech overall because of his opener. Starport has completed, and we're getting to a safety Cyclone. Okay, Cyclones are on the way. Cyclones also went in from ByuN, and we're going into a Cyclone drop from both players. So this can get a little bit chaotic. If GuMiho and ByuN send out their first couple of medevacs, if they send out their first couple of Cyclones, they could pass by each other, and damage is going to get done. Things could get rowdy. They could get rowdy, but... we go. So GuMiho moving out with his first handful of units, moving out with the Hellion as well as that Cyclone drop. Interesting, moving out with his first Cyclone. Meanwhile, ByuN moving out with his Hellion Marine. They do come across each other. Who reacts first? ByuN! ByuN a little bit late to react. GuMiho does drop. Yeah, shuts down the army. Ooh, takes down some Marines. Chases back the Hellion. And GuMiho, he comes out better there in that trade. Even shuts down that final Hellion as well. ByuN forced all the way back home. At least he does barely keep that medevac alive. GuMiho, he wants it. Wants that medevac. Up! Does spot it. Won't commit. Pulls back. Do have Raven production on the way alongside the Interference Matrix. GuMiho is defending. Sorry, ByuN is defending. Gets the aggression of GuMiho. He will hold on to his 2 bases. But ByuN is stuck at home. And GuMiho, he's free to get into a 3rd CC if he wanted to, but no, he's committing into 1-1-1. He's pushing up with the tank, even pulling some boys. The SCVs are on the way to help repair. GuMiho thinking about getting his 3rd CC on location. He's got the money for it. Can commit. Oh, not quite though, as behind this are going double Viking into double Liberator. Okay. Interesting choice. GuMiho now getting his 3rd CC on location as he's rallying everything across the map. Tank getting within range of the natural. We do have a Raven. We do have Interference Matrix. We can disable that tank, but is it going to be enough? Vikings, they turn away the Ravens. Where's the anti-air? Oh. 1 Marine and 1 Cyclone. We dive on forward. 1 Raven goes down. 2nd Raven goes down as well. Ay, ay, ay. Massive pickoffs, and ByuN, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Trying to hold on to his natural. At the same time across the map, he does get in though. Oh my god. Drop does get in. Forcing the boys off the mineral line. So much late mining time. GuMiho waiting for reinforcements. And ByuN, he is fighting back. Jumping towards that natural. Ooh, yeah, getting some more SCVs. Very nicely done. At the same time, Liberators do siege up. Getting the counter SCV damage done. Well, that's going to be 7-8 SCV kills. Oh my god. ByuN, a little bit too late to respond. Bleeding out so many SCVs. Far too many at this point. In total, 14 workers go down for ByuN. But he's still not done across the map. Getting a couple more SCVs here at the natural. But ByuN gets cleaned up. As the dust does settle, GuMiho does take a worker lead. But wait, even in tanks, ByuN does have a Viking lead himself. And the game will keep going. Despite the amount of SCVs that were killed here at the natural from the side of ByuN, ByuN was also able to get some worker kills across the map. And GuMiho, he was also hurting as well. Does have a worker lead, but not as large as it should have been. That's large. GuMiho poised to drop into the main. It's got Marines and a Cyclone. Third CC on location for GuMiho. Now on the way for ByuN. As the drop does get into the main. Once again, SCV is going to be going down, forcing the Vikings to land. Getting another 3 SCVs there. Medevac will escape. And with that, GuMiho now has a massive economic lead. 57 workers to the 49 of ByuN. Behind this, we're working to the fusion core that should be for Liberator range to get into, again, Lib tank. Additional factories on the way, not Raxes. GuMiho going to be embracing mech here, not Bio. He's headed into mech. ByuN scans ahead of time. Slots in the main army. Try and rotate over, but we take some big tank shots to the face. Oof. Trading 1 for 1. Liberator forcing back those tanks. That is going to be forced back. GuMiho now double expanding. And my apologies, I assumed the fusion core was going to be for ranged liberators, but no, it's going to be for Yamato. He's going into Yamato. He's rushing into mech. Well, I say rushing into mech. Rushing into BCs. Double armory on the way. We spoke about mech earlier. Again, mech is on the way. GuMiho working on a 4th CC as well. As the 4th base just now begins for ByuN on location. Yeah, not many people do play mech in TvT, but players like GuMiho, players like ByuN, they're willing to dabble in it here against the best Terrans out there. And it can be a terrifying thing. Like, it's just such a solid defensive style that defense can very quickly turn into an offense as well, depending on the positioning. The Terran player. But now ByuN's still amassing his own army. I mean, the pressure's on ByuN, to be honest. Like, the longer this goes on, the better it is for GuMiho. Like, ByuN, we gotta go. Let's try to pick GuMiho apart. Go for some bases, go for some SCVs. Damage done in some way. Do catch a medevac. Is a pickup. So you get the medevac. 4th base is up and running for both players, both GuMiho and ByuN. ByuN has now taken a worker lead. GuMiho, he's refining his army. Yamato is done, working on +1 ship weapons. ByuN stepping forward, getting onto the Vikings. And first tank goes down, Vikings are exposed. ByuN, can he snowball out of control, diving in towards that 3rd base, takes down 1, takes down a 2nd tank. Very nice pickups. Vikings, they do take down at least some of the medevacs, and the tanks have yet to reveal themselves. Sorry, the BCs have yet to reveal themselves, until now. Battlecruiser has arrived, Yamato is available. Behind this, we're going for Thors. As the BC gets across the map, gets into the natural, forcing ByuN back home. Yamato goes up. BC will be able to survive. Has a teleport available. Getting more SCVs. Getting more Marines. Getting 18 kills. Again, behind this ByuN, he is trying to commit across the map. Knows how vulnerable GuMiho is. But we're running out of anti, running out of Marines. No, the Marines are going down. Nothing else shoots up. There's no more Vikings. There's no more Marines. The Marauders, they can't shoot up. Neither can the tanks. And GuMiho is chasing this all down. Nice Yamato there from GuMiho. ByuN having a rough trade. Did deny some mining time at the third. Did get some workers. ByuN, he needs time, needs to build back up. We're amassing Marines, amassing Vikings, Thors, more Thors on the way. Anything and everything. And GuMiho holds. And how many BCs? 4. Soon to be 5. Soon to be 5. ByuN going for the scan, trying to get a read on any additional bases here from GuMiho. And because ByuN has the higher worker count, because he has a better economy, that translates to a larger army. ByuN trying to make use of his more mobile composition, rotating around, trying to catch a would-be 5th base. There he does step in. Does step forward. Ooh, Thor does go down within range of the tanks. Big pickup. ByuN again down to 1 Thor with his main army. Yamato's going to be following up as well. They take down the Thor. Teleport there out of GuMiho. Ooh, takes out another couple of tanks. Some more tanks, getting back into more Viking production as well. It's going to be 6 Vikings from GuMiho against the 14 Vikings of ByuN. That's a lot of Vikings. ByuN doesn't have any ship upgrades yet, bear that in mind. He's working on +1. Hiding here out of ByuN. Going to be going for a double jump again, trying to split up the attention here of GuMiho. Trying to force him back. Does attempt to jump into the main base, is going to be denied. Vikings, they come in, they take down the medevacs. GuMiho saves the base at the same time. Here comes ByuN. Right through the center. CC buys some time. And we're going straight for the natural, straight for the kill. We're trying to at least. But the BCs, they do keep up. Here we go. Up. The BCs, they survive. Yamato's going to be going up on the Vikings. And GuMiho, he takes a fight. Somehow, some way, despite being down in Vikings, the Yamatos were solid. And ByuN is in trouble. Is going to be in trouble here. And this is, again, still has a solid economy. So, like, ByuN is able to max out. He's catching up on upgrades as well, working on +2 ship weapons, making 6 Vikings at a time. Hefty Viking count. Likewise, GuMiho is still making more BCs. If you're curious about TvT and the ultra late game TvT, it is mass BC versus mass BC. Like, BCs is what you want in the late game with those upgrades with 3-3. That is the end game of Terran versus Terran, and GuMiho is already there. He's out 1 battle cruiser. 1 is still not going to be enough. We're still making 2 at a time. Still just amassing more BCs. It's going to be a lot of Yamatos when the armies do clash. Yamatos. As ByuN is still building up his Vikings. He's up to 28 Vikings. That's a lot of Vikings. Jesus. That's a lot of Vikings, puppy. They are stacked up. They have to avoid those Thor shots. Speaking of, tanks will lead the siege. Tanks are going to be late. Thor's going to be going up, but we have a ground army. Yamatos, they do connect. They do connect. They shut down a big chunk of those Vikings. And the army's going to be clashing. ByuN does have the Viking lead. He's kiting back. At the same time, though, GuMiho, he has BCs to support. He also have those battle cruisers. Vikings going to be engaging. We dive on top of the army. I was about to say that ByuN, he's coming out ahead in this Viking battle. Does come out ahead there. Meanwhile, GuMiho throwing down turrets here under the army on the front lines. Ooh. One more BC goes down. Again, the turrets do finish. And how many BCs have died this game? Has it been one? Okay, it's been 4. Okay, thank God. A little bit more than that, but regardless, GuMiho has been so efficient with his trades. More Yamato's off. Speaking of Yamato's, once again cleaning up that Era army. Equalizing that Viking count. And it isn't just about the Vikings that need anti-air on the ground. Thors, Marines, anything and everything. As GuMiho is finally expanding, taking a 6th. ByuN does get eyes on this. Let's get eyes on this, as we do see GuMiho scanning likewise as well. Yeah, scan's gonna be thrown down from both players, trying to catch each other's armies. Did you spot them? But can ByuN stop this? Can he stop the main army from pushing in? The answer is no. Yeah, we pivot away. Base is gonna be cancelled. At the same time, ByuN pushing right through towards a 3rd. Once again, ignoring the army, going for the base. And it looks like he will get a kill. Good pick off. CC goes down. But here come the Vikings. Here come the BCs. Vikings going hand with each other. BCs coming in, soaking a lot of damage. Oh, they are surprisingly tanky. Ooh, as I say that though, big overextension there by GuMiho. Overextend. Please out all those Vikings. ByuN likewise rotating around. ByuN still maintaining a supply lead. Oh, the non-stop Thor harass. That was the 2nd time that Thor's denied a base, by the way. Impressive. Oh. Very impressive as GuMiho, he does rotate over towards the right-hand side. He does deny some CCs. Chased back by the Vikings. Oh, we turn around with Yamato. Ooh. 2 BC's going to be going down. Good stim there from ByuN. Too greedy from GuMiho to go for the Yamatos the way that he did, to lock himself down. And as we have more orbitals on the way, making 8 of Vikings at a time, plus 3 ship weapons, plus 2 vehicle plating. And ByuN, he has maxed out. And again, he knows that he has to try to end it here and now before GuMiho get maxed out. But the BCs, they have 3-3, they have 1 long forward. And they just bully this back. BC just refusing to die. Pulling back for now, waiting for reinforcements. Likewise, so is ByuN. We're calming things down, Papi, calming things down. Now, when it comes to the army here of ByuN, going Mass Viking Marine, it's okay, but when you're up against 3-3 BCs like this, I would love to see something a little bit different. I would love to see Ravens for whether it's auto turrets, whether it's disables, whether it's the anti-armor missile. Ravens can add quite a bit, and it's usually something you want to incorporate in this late game army. Outside of that, I would love to see some multi-prong harassment or some just rotations here from ByuN. Clearly, these head-on fights, they're not working out. Not quite working out. ByuN is scanned. Rotating around, waiting for +3 ship weapons to finish up. A couple of seconds away. GuMiho pulling back home. I was about to say, you know, GuMiho caught out of position, but he wasn't too far away. Does pull back. Does pull back, and GuMiho, for the first time in this game, he's maxed. He's maxed out on how many battle cruisers? 11. 11 BCs, 20 Vikings. Does have 3-3, has the upgrade lead over ByuN. ByuN's got 3-2. Still waiting for +3 vehicle plating, which is still on the way. So there is a window here for GuMiho. Likewise, ByuN has no splash damage to help deal with those Vikings. Thors of his own, no power bomb. I say storm and power bomb. I mean, true, doesn't have any of that. I was referring to Thor's. I was referring to Thor's AoE. Here we go. Dips in, rotates around, going for a jog towards the south. Oh, but he's going to be cleaned up by the planetary. Doesn't quite get much done. I do appreciate that he's sharking around with these Vikings. Trying to, at least. But yeah, the problem is that ByuN, he's been going for these main pushes and these fringe bases they've gotten up and running. GuMiho now has a comparable economy to his opponent. Has a bank. We do see jump within range here of the planetary, and this base is going to be going down. ByuN going for a base trade. He ignores the main army. Is pushing instead. He is spotted by the scan. GuMiho sees, he knows. Yep, base trade. Let's go. Now, the scary thing about a base trade here is that GuMiho can always recall, or he can teleport back home, teleport wherever he wants, really. Vikings, they do come back. And here we go. ByuN does have the Viking lead. It does engage. +3 armor has not yet kicked in. And the BCs, they Yamato the hell out of those Vikings. Vikings are picked up, and GuMiho, he gains access to the main base, does camp the production. At the same time, ByuN doing the same, busting into the main. ByuN rebuilding his starports towards the north. Starports are being rebuilt. GuMiho instead going for factories towards the south. Okay. So going for a very different kind of trajectory here. An answer to the same problem. GuMiho pushing in towards that third. Likewise, leaving his Vikings back to deal with the main. And you can see that ByuN has been banking up his Vikings. I appreciate that now we have some Ravens in the mix. We spoke about this earlier, but Ravens, they add so much more utility and so much more flexibility to this army with disables, with anti-armor missile, with auto turrets. So we do have, I want to say, 3 Ravens. And 3. You can see ByuN, it looks like he's thinking of making his final stand here with his turrets. No, never mind, he does move out. Tars left behind, more bases going down. ByuN does have bottom left. Speaking of ByuN, looking for another base. Does come across these factories. Not bad. At the same time, BC's, ooh, they camp the production. They find those starports. And ByuN is heavily supply blocks. He will not be able to make anything. Neither can GuMiho. Diving on the base, planetary goes down. At the same time, Toto's top right. GuMiho establishing here towards top left. And again, in a head-to-head fight, I have to give the edge to GuMiho. He will come out on top. ByuN has to avoid that fight. The problem is that there are so many bases. There's 1, 2, 3 bases here for GuMiho, and ByuN is down to 1. Now, to be fair, it isn't quite 3 CC here for GuMiho. He's got like, what, 2 mineral patches here towards the 3rd. A handful of mineral patches towards the north. Regardless, still has a better economy. Yeah, and there it is. GG gets called. We don't even get the final fight. We had all those Vikings, and GuMiho, he will just starve ByuN out, and he will take the series 2-0, qualifying for GSL. GG. Bappy. GG, very well done. GuMiho once again flexing his TvT. Doesn't matter who you are out there. You are, I mean, again, GuMiho is a terrifying opponent in the TvT matchup. Regardless of whether you're ByuN, Clem, or even Maru, GuMiho is a beast. GG, congratulations, GuMiho will qualify for the Global StarCraft League. And ByuN, he gets knocked down. He gets knocked down to a lower qualifying match. Here we go. But GuMiho, he got away with so much there to rush into, well, to be fair, to initially have a better trade, but to rush into BCs the way that he did, to of course embrace mech as well. ByuN had a lot of map control, he had a lot of freedom, he had the better economy, but he wasn't able to make use of it. He wasn't able to utilize it in almost any way, shape, or form. He wasn't able to punish the 5th or 6th base of GuMiho, and with that, GuMiho snowballed out of control. GG, very well done. Very well done there by GuMiho. And with that, we should be getting ready for our next series, for our next matchup. It's going to be a TvZ between ByuN and Rogue. Oh boy.